Before I start this review, I want to get one thing out of the way immediately. I am indeed cheating a bit here, as Stardust was not a comic book, but rather a novel written by Neil Gaiman, who writes both novels and comics. However, it was at one point published by Vertigo Comics, which is an imprint of DC, and that, mixed with the fact that I've always wanted to see it, well, that's enough for me to include it in this feature. Who cares about any of that, right? Well, if I didn't say this, I'd get comments like, Stardust was a novel, retard. Now, even if I did say all that, but if I put it at the end of the video, they'd still do that. Hell, I'm sure some idiot will do that anyway, because they saw this in the feature and immediately hit comment without watching the video. Or maybe somebody will post that thinking that it's funny. They'll get blocked. Anyway, the movie. Stardust is a fantasy film based around the idea that the city of Wall in England holds a secret gate to a fantasy realm populated by a race of human-like fairies. One young man sneaks through the wall and visits this land where he meets a witch's slave girl who claims to be a captive princess. She gives him a glass flower and asks only for a kiss in return, but I guess he overpaid because he gets her pregnant. His son is dropped off as an infant in Wall when he's born. The son, Tristan, is now 18 and in love with a local girl named Victoria, and after hearing her talk for about 10 seconds, I wondered what the hell he sees in her other than that she's hot. He's intent on marrying her, but she feels obligated to marry another man because he gave her expensive things. What a whore. After seeing a falling star, Tristan claims he can bring the fallen star to her, and she gives him a week to do so. If he does, she'll marry him. The falling star was actually knocked out of the sky because, stay with me on this, a dying king threw a necklace out the window and it hit the star. He has 7 sons in his life, and they're in the process of all killing each other to see who gets to be the next king. Apparently, instead of just going with the oldest, they go with whoever's alive. So the princes are all trying to kill each other. It's also revealed that there was a princess, but, well, you probably already figured out that that's Tristan's mother, right? Anyway, whoever is the last alive and finds the necklace shall become king. The star got knocked out of the sky and takes the form of Claire Danes because if you're going to be the humanoid avatar of a celestial body, why not be kind of hot? Tristan uses a magical candle to transport to the star and captures her, intending to bring her back to Victoria, who the audience will easily believe is dumb enough to go for some woman being a star. There's also 3 witches, one of which is Michelle Pfeiffer, who want the star so that they can extend their lives by consuming her heart. Is that enough? Well, there's also Robert De Niro, who plays a badass airship pirate captain, who also happens to be as gay as the day is long, and enjoys dancing around in a tutu with glitter on his face. Yeah, that got your attention, right? It certainly got my attention. Honestly, this isn't a bad movie, but watching it, I felt like it was sort of one of those hopelessly generic fantasy movies that isn't really bad, but it isn't really good either, just sort of exists. Something that you might have on in the background if there's nothing else on. However, De Niro and his character raise the bar and make the movie highly amusing, and it brings back the sense of fun and wonder that was previously lost with all the ongoing exposition in the first half. After De Niro and his scenes, it feels like the entire movie starts getting better as it focuses more on characterization, funny dialogue, action, and fun, rather than setting up endless waves of plot. Perhaps it's a coincidence that the rough first act ends at the same time that De Niro starts acting like a hairdresser, but I choose to think that he saved the movie. Anyway, during all this, Tristan starts to fall for Yvain, that's the star chick, because she's totally not a horrible person, and eventually he has to choose between staying with her or going back to his bitchy girlfriend in Wall, all while getting caught up in the supposedly unrelated plots of captured princesses, heart stars, witches, pirates, and feuding princes. I get the feeling that this one is probably better as a novel or a comic than as a movie, but as a movie, it's fairly effective when it's being fun and engaging in the second and third acts, while the first act is just inoffensive. It's not bad, it's not even boring, it's just boilerplate fantasy stuff. I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10.